Hi, it's Sylvester. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but I used to experience psychosis. Starting in 2019, I started hallucinating. I was hearing things, seeing things. I was having very, very vivid hallucinations and delusions. And in 2023, it especially got really bad to a point where I was screaming every single day in my apartment at people who weren't really there. And I've spoken about this before, but it really is one of those situations where I count my blessings because it could have turned out so much worse for me. I spent like an entire year from I think like May of 2023 up until maybe like February of 2024. I was just like yelling every single day in my apartment, having a complete breakdown every single day. And um it was really bad. It was really traumatic, and I feel so bad for my neighbors that they had to live through that. And I again, I'm very lucky. I could have gotten kicked out of my of the building. As far as I'm aware, for that entire year where I was screaming, nobody made any noise complaints. Or at least if anybody did make any noise complaints, I never heard about it. Nobody ever called the police on me. Like, nothing. I faced no um, consequences for my actions. And again, I'm very lucky, and I feel really, really bad for all of the people who live around me, all of my neighbors who had to deal with that. They were probably terrified. The reason nobody probably did anything is probably because they were scared of me. And I mean, like, a couple of my neighbors did actually, like, come knock on my door a couple of times when I was really freaking out and screaming, and they like tried to talk to me. And um like, there were some people who took action, but for the most part, I faced basically zero consequences for my actions. And I am grateful for that because I could have, like I said, I could have ended up getting kicked out of the building. I could have gotten noise complaints. I could have had the police called on me. The reason I'm talking about this is because, and I'm sorry if I seem kind of triggered in this video, it's because I am triggered. And I said a while ago that I wouldn't make videos talking about people in my real life anymore. So I'm going to try to keep this as incredibly vague as possible. But basically, I know somebody who is going through something very similar to what I went through in 2023. This person is hearing voices. This person is experiencing psychosis. This person had the police called on them today. Um, and it's just it's really triggering to me because I don't know how to help. I don't know what to do about the situation. And like, I really do want to help. I did try to talk to this person about it. I asked them, like, are you experiencing hallucinations? They said yes. Well, I said, are you hearing voices? They said yes. And I said, antipsychotics really helped me a lot. And they didn't seem very receptive to that. And then I didn't want to push it any further. I don't know this person that well, so like, I didn't really want to overstep any boundaries or anything. But like, I really hate seeing somebody go through something so similar to what I went through. And I like the toughest part about psychosis is you really can't force somebody to get help. They have to make that decision themselves. And when you're experiencing delusions, when you're experiencing psychosis, a lot of times you have this fear of, you think things are going on in the world that aren't actually happening. Like, a lot of times you fear, for me specifically, I thought that people who worked in the, like, doctors, I thought doctors were evil essentially. And so I was like scared to try to get help because I thought that they wouldn't help me. I didn't believe that the voices I was hearing were just hallucinations. I thought that I had a chip in my brain, and I thought that I was like actually reading people's minds, and that these voices were the voices of real people. And so I thought even if I went on antipsychotics, it wouldn't change anything, it wouldn't do anything, because I'm not psychotic. I'm telepathic, like I had all sorts of delusions, and there were all sorts of reasons why I didn't get help until things got really, really bad. And I ended up being hospitalized a couple of times in 2023, and that was a very traumatic, those were very traumatic experiences, because every time I would go to the hospital, they would threaten to lock me up in the psych ward, which is one of my biggest fears, is being locked away and having my freedom stripped from me. And so that scared me and made me less likely to go try to get help, because I was scared that if I went to asking for help, they would lock me away. And so I don't want this person to get locked up in a psych ward. I don't want this person to get kicked out of the building because they're disturbing the neighbors. I don't want them to have the police called on them again. I don't want to see this person go through any of that stuff. And like, again, even I don't know this person very well. It just like, it upsets me because I don't know what to do about the situation, and seeing somebody else go through something that you've been through can be very triggering, especially if it's a traumatic thing. To see somebody go through this traumatic experience, I'm sorry I'm making it all about me. Obviously, it's traumatic for them. This person is going through something very traumatic right now, and it's not about me. It has nothing to do with me, but I can't help but make it about me, because again, it's so similar to what happened to me that it's like I can't help but feel triggered by it. And so yeah, I'm not really making this video because I want advice. I'm not making this video because I want somebody to tell me what to do. I'm just making this video because I want to talk about my experience, and I might end up taking this video down for fear that the person I'm talking about might see this video, because I know it feels bad to have somebody talk about you behind your back, and I don't want this person to see this video. I'm like 99.9% sure that this person doesn't watch my videos, but I'm it's I just I don't know. It's really difficult when you've been through a traumatic experience to see somebody else go through that same experience. And obviously, I'm sure there are differences between what I went through and what this person's going through, but like I wish I could, like, for me, antipsychotics really did help. They took away the voices, and then I had like a bit of a relapse, I guess, last year, and I did talk about this in a video where the voices came back, and that was really scary. But then I just got a higher dose of antipsychotics, and that took away the voices again. So I really like, that's the only thing I can think to say to this person is like, have you tried antipsychotics? Because they worked for me. But I know that antipsychotics don't always work for people. Like, I have this one friend whose dad is schizophrenic, and their dad is on the highest dose of antipsychotics that he can be on, and he's still experiencing delusions and hearing voices and stuff. And so antipsychotics might not actually take away the voices. They might not actually do what they're supposed to do. And so, like, in that situation, like, I don't know. It's a really difficult situation, because it's like, what do you do about it? You know what I mean? And like, even if like, I don't know. I'm just really triggered. I'm just really triggered, and I feel like very lucky that in 2023 I didn't have any, like, nothing negative came out of what happened to me, really. Like, it traumatized me, but like, I didn't get any noise complaints. I didn't have the police called on me. Like, I got really, 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 really lucky, and I don't take that for granted. Anyways, yeah, I guess that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Stay frosty. Bye.